Took me a little bit longer, a few minutes. I was cleaning up, brought everything that I need to use during my stream today. Welcome to my Cactus live stream, Cactus Care, sowing out, cleaning seeds, but also open to any kind of questions. If you want to have a chat, I'm always open to have a talk with the community or people that just randomly find my channel. Yeah, I just do this stuff because I'm bored. Otherwise, I would just have too much time on my hands and start thinking. So yeah, I'm here doing a little bit of streaming over the Christmas holidays. If you want to, feel free to join me. I will do a lot more of this in the next few days. On the Christmas evening, I will stream. So yeah, great to have you around. Thank you for joining. And I brought some washed pumice again because I was walking around in the greenhouses and I found a bunch of seedlings where I felt the soil is not looking the way I want it to look. I also felt like there might be problems with root rot on them. So yeah, we will repot these, transplant to say it better. And here's a good example. Hey, welcome to the stream. Thank you for joining. I'm just going through a bunch of seedlings and they look horrible. This one here. We might only be able to save one. And this is one of the seedlings where it rained on them through the crack of the window. Really bad. Let me see what it is. I hope it's not something good. It will be something good. I know it. Okay, let me see. Oh yeah, these are very good. This is with FAS 11. So maybe we can save one or two seedlings. But it doesn't look good. They already have infection, root rot. So we will try to clean it up. We'll start with the most difficult one. Or maybe we will do that one later because it will be so dirty that I want to start with another one first. So these here, I just checked them. The root system is okay. Doesn't look so bad. The others are much worse. So we will start with this one. And it seems to be a decent cross because some of the seedlings are variegated. This one here in center. Looking good. Decent cross probably. Let me see. Yeah, columnar cross with 18A2000 as father. That's the kind of stuff that I want to grow more of in the future. So yeah, I will just transplant them into the washed pumice. And thank you guys for joining. Welcome to the stream. We'll be transplanting some seedlings today. I also brought new seeds here that I want to clean with you. I also brought a few cactus fruits over here. They are pretty dry. So my hope is that we can maybe get the seeds out without having to clean them under running water. Just do a first cleanup just out of the dried fruit. When the fruit is very dry, the fruit material and everything, then you can sometimes get the seeds out of there without having any dirt on them. So we will try that later. If it doesn't work, we'll do a second cleanup directly afterwards. But for now, I have hope. I'm an optimist. Sometimes, on some days, on a good one. So yeah, right now I'm just sticking the seedlings into the washed pumice because the washed pumice is such a much faster draining medium. It's better in exactly this age, in this stage in the cactus development after the first 6 months. Within the first 6 months, I like to have them in a more organic soil. But then, the moment the soil stays wet for too long, you will lose seedlings. Having good drainage is a pretty big thing for cactus seedlings. Later on, when you have a bigger plant, it's much less of a problem than in the beginning. In the first 6 months, they need a lot more water, and then the older they get, the less they can take it when the roots are wet for too long. they always need a little bit of time in between where the water can dry up. So putting them into the washed pumice increases their long-term survival chance by a lot. So yeah, I brought 5 containers of washed pumice. I might have a little bit more and then I have to reorder. Hey, welcome to the stream. Great to have you around. Just transplanting seedlings from the greenhouses. That's just too many. So I'm doing a lot of the care stuff on the stream. Also because it's interesting to talk about it when I'm doing it. And yeah, have brought 4 containers of seedlings for today. But one of them only needs the removal of the oxalis. I keep cleaning up the greenhouses now over winter. That will help us later on when we will get a lot more seedlings through the winter, the way we're doing it now. So yeah, and always happy to answer questions if you have anything you want to ask. Always happy to have a talk about the things that I do or also off topic. I don't care. So yeah, cleaning this thing up and now check it out. So the drainage is so much better now. Very good drainage now. Hey, welcome to the stream. Yeah, I mean, in the first 3 months maybe, the cactus seedlings really profit of having a soil that's a little bit more organic. But later on, you can fast run into trouble the moment the setting isn't perfect anymore. Like example, in winter, it can, in winter, sometimes you have drip water that's coming down. And drip water, every container where I had drip water hitting it had some losses, going from just a few to really disastrous. So drip water is a really big thing for seedlings, and at some point transplanting them into the pumice is a good idea. So these can go out. This one is done. We'll move it into the greenhouse again. Hey, I was born in Europe. I was born in Saarland, Germany. That is kind of something in between French and German. A little bit of both. So the best of both worlds. Okay, let me see. There's no tag in here. This is awesome. I love that when that happens. I can't tell if this is a good seedling or not, if these are good or not. The body looks a little bit, let me see, looks a little bit like Lobivia arachnacantha hybrids. And they look good in the soil. I mean, there's a bunch of problems here and there, but these are okay. I might not have to transplant them. I was worried that the roots look terrible, but they apparently don't. So yeah, how long have you been doing this? I've been a professional breeder, I don't know, maybe 15 years, and just with cacti, growing cacti, a good 25 years now. Was a long way. Where I live, it's just colder winters with a lot of rain, so you can't grow them outside. I tried growing them indoors for very long, but that always has had own problems. And back then, there weren't so many of the high quality plant lamps, grow lamps that you have today. So it was a long way to be able to do it well. And now that I built a few greenhouses, that helped me a lot. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't be able to do it. And yeah, it's a great hobby. Over here, I mean, I show a lot of cool plants that are flowering. You see how beautiful the flowers are. It's great advertising for the hobby, and I enjoy it. Yeah, Germany has, I don't know, the winters have changed. The winters have gone from minus 25 in some winters, in extreme winters, to warm, mild. I mean, most of the time during winter, the average overwintering experience is that it is raining and that you have, I don't know, 1 or 2 very cold weeks in between, but most of the time it's raining. So yeah, it's not a good cactus weather, unfortunately. So yeah, I brought these also from the greenhouse and I'm just cleaning it up. I just noticed that I've been doing this on autopilot kind of thing. So I'm just cleaning everything up because there was oxalis growing in the pot. Hey mate, welcome to the stream. Great to have you guys around. I'm just talking through the seedlings here that I've been transplanting. With these it was necessary. Then I had a bunch where we maybe can leave them in for another 6 months. I'm focusing on the really bad ones right now because I don't want to change anything when it's going good. Okay, and then this one I cleaned everything up. And now we will do this one. This was the worst of all of them. I expect that in this container, we will only be able to save 1 or 2 seedlings because the roots had rotted. I don't use any kind of perlite. What I'm using here, this is washed pumice, volcanic mineral, and very good for cacti. It's a relatively small particle size, maybe 0 to 0.4 centimeters in diameter, and everything washed to get out the dust, to improve the drainage. Because once you have this stuff with original dust, when you sometimes buy it in a bigger bag, it turns the whole thing in a brick. But this way, the pumice is a great medium for the cacti. Has the right pH level, is able to store water, make it available to the roots, but without causing root rot. So yeah, it's a very useful mineral. I like it a lot. But also I'm moving a little bit away from the minerals because you are always surrounded by them. You're always exposed to mineral dust, and I don't want to have that. So yeah, I'm using very clean pumice, also to avoid that I don't constantly work in a lot of dust. So here's a seedling where I saw that it had root rot, and usually this is caused by either too much water, too much humidity around the roots in a very organic soil, or it is caused by mealybug that love to attack the root system. And yeah, this is the kind of stuff that follows after them. So now I will try to get rid of the infection by just carefully removing what I have to. And this is a tiny piece, so it might not be enough to survive long term afterwards. So I really hope we can get it off here. Okay, this is enough. This is a small piece now. A little bit too small. It might make it, but probably not. So yeah, next one. Here's a seedling that looks okay, but already has a brownish discoloration at the base. This is probably mealybug the way it looks like. Mealybug, sometimes you don't see them, but you see the damage that they leave. They constantly cause these micro injuries at the root system, and once they do it, it will eventually lead to infection, especially when the soil is a little bit on the wetter side. So I removed that, and the wound looks clean. So I will place that with the wound upwards, and I will probably put it under a plant lamp just to dry out the infection a little bit. Here's another one. Also, roots completely gone. The only thing that's left is infection, and I will try to get it all off. And surprisingly, this has worked. So there's actually a chance to save this seedling. I hate when that happens. Very often you think you have a full seedling full of, you have a full container full of seedlings, and it's eventually all of them have some sort of a problem. You lose more and more slowly over time. this container is a good argument for washed pumice, for mineral medium when you can't control the humidity. I'm just looking closely here whether there's already an infection. It looks a little bit brownish, but I think about giving it a chance. But there's something not all right with the base. Not 100%. I don't know. I will carefully try to look into that one section that looks discolored. Scraping a little bit because I want to see if there's infection below already or if it's dirt. Yeah, I think I will need to cut it off. The wound is clean. If it is an infection, it's not gotten far. The problem is just when you put it into the soil now and you forget about it and later it comes back, then you might not see it in time to save the seedling. So sometimes it can make sense. But I want to put it into the soil again. Hey, welcome to the stream. Great to have you guys around. Yeah, I'm currently just transplanting cactus seedlings, that kind of stuff. And these here look really bad. So I might have to leave them inside for now. Think if I would put these into the greenhouse now, things will be really difficult. The high humidity would probably love the setting in the greenhouse. Fresh wounds and all. If you put them into the greenhouse now, I might lose the others too. So I would leave these indoors and put them under a plant lamp. And apart from that, that's it with these. Unfortunately, not a lot that I could do in this container here without removing everything. Removing the infection and that kind of stuff. Okay. Maybe we will transplant some of the washed pumice later. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, the others will go into the greenhouse again. The others are all right. They can take the humidity. Okay, so now I want to try to clean the fresh seeds here that I brought. And they are really completely dried in the fruit. I've just put these aside for a little while. And now saw them again, realized that I had forgotten about them, and now we're cleaning them a little, trying to get the seeds out so we can sow them out. Okay. Let me see. Hard to tell how many of them are in there, but I will just try to scrape some of the seeds out of the fruit. And this works pretty well. At a certain point, when once the humidity is gone from an old fruit, it gets dry like a raisin. Okay. This worked better than I thought. But there's a lot of dirt that comes with it, so maybe we will still clean it again under water. We could probably clean that out just by cleaning well enough, doing it often enough, but it would probably be a lot of work, unnecessary work. We'll just put it under water and then it will be all right. Washing them under water, under running water is good when you have a lot of, you see, this plant material that came with it. What's gotten in there is basically just dried pulp. And it would take forever to sort it out manually. So I would just put it into a bag here. paper bag, and I will clean these later. I don't want to put them into a plastic bag. If once they are in a plastic bag, the humidity doesn't get out, and that can rot when you have organic material in there. So we'll just bag these up and clean them again later. But now we at least already have them out of the fruit. Saves us a little bit of time. Okay. Okay, next one. And this one here, it has barely any viable seeds in it. I saw that already, so my kind of, I didn't have a lot of interest to do it fast, to clean it fast, but now I really want to look if there's even one viable seed in there, and I'm really not sure. This one still has a lot of, it feels like glue. So not being able to clean this right now. Sometimes they dry, sometimes they don't. This one definitely didn't. So this one will also need to go under running water to get rid of the pulp that is left here. Let me put this aside. I will do that later. But I don't expect to have any kind of a lot of seeds in there. It doesn't look like that. It looked a little bit like it was completely devoid of any viable seeds. Every now and then with the crosses that I do, that happens pretty often actually. That a cross produces a fruit, but it doesn't have any viable seeds in it. That can happen a lot. Okay. I brought a lot of other seeds here. This is from Paul Ehrlich. Paul Ehrlich, one of the Gräser follow-up hybrids that I really like. Nice flowers. But every now and then, like the flower only looks great every other year. In some years, the flower just doesn't look interesting. I'm not sure what causes it. So the offspring is also hit and miss sometimes. But this was a tiny fruit because it was pollinated with Lubivia. Lubivia being rather distant to the mother. And that's why there are so few seeds. Might be an interesting cross from a genetical point of view. The further they are apart, the more interesting it gets if it is able to survive on their own roots. So I want to clean these up a little bit just to see how many of them are actually viable, because I see a lot of seeds that are in there that are not viable. Just little crumbs. Okay. Yeah. I think it's maybe 30 seeds in this whole fruit. Not more. I mean, if it's even 30 seeds, rather 20, something like that. Will be interesting. This is an interesting cross. I will definitely sow it out. Has potential. So let me just put it in a bag. Yeah, and the mother, Paul Ehrlich, the parentage, they are called Aporocandicans hybrids because they are from a cross between Cactus and Sörensia candicans. Hey Dave, good morning. Just cleaning a bunch of seeds. bunch of seeds from Paul Ehrlich. That hybrid really looks good on the videos. Every time I post it, I'm amazed by it. But then again, this year when it flowered, it looked so bad. I don't know. Every now and then there are hybrids that need a very specific setting to have the right perfect kind of flower. And if that isn't met, the flowers can look disappointing. So, Paul Ehrlich, 2025. Okay. So earlier this morning, I need to talk about something. Earlier this morning, I read that Meta, the Facebook parent company, that they are now planning to do some sort of subscription if you want to put links into your post. And I couldn't believe it when I heard it. I mean, at first I couldn't believe it. Then I thought, oh yeah, that checks out, you know, because the same, it's basically the same stuff where they should just offer basic settings, basic functions, and instead they're locking that up behind a paywall. I mean, I couldn't believe it. What these guys are doing with their platform, it's always impressive again every time. And I mean, I've come from my beginnings on social media. It was all Facebook, and I've been doing so much on Facebook over the years, all the time. And what basically got me started to do more YouTube was that it wasn't fair towards the creators anymore. On Instagram, they are barely showing the posts to the subscribers. It's a huge problem that a lot of people have criticized, and I just don't know what their end plan is. Once a platform becomes unusable, once you no longer have any benefit from posting all the time, then why should you do it? You know, I just feel like if they would just give people what they want, features that are actually useful, then their platform would thrive. I really believe it's that simple. But instead, it's one weird decision after another. And I don't even want to blast them too hard, because I don't have high expectations of social media. I just don't. But I'm not sure what's going on there. Honestly, it reminded me of that quote by Steve Jobs where he talked about marketing people running the company. It's just, I'm old school. I believe the one thing that I want to have is just that it is useful to me if I run it as a business. And I think the last 2, 3, 4 years already, your post, if you put a link in it, it wasn't even seen anymore. They would just downrank it on the timeline, back to way to the back. And once they did that, it became no longer useful for business. And this affects so many small business people who actually who build their following and who need that their following sometimes to make stuff happen, to release something. But if you can't put a link in it, come on. And yeah, and now they are offering this as a bonus option where you can pay, or at least they are planning to do it. That was the idea. I don't think it will happen, because quite honestly, the people who run a business and try to do that, to promote that with links and all, they have already given up years ago. Those people are no longer using it because they already realized it's not useful. The people who are still posting are creators that post for their community. But yeah, I don't know what it is these days. Yeah, I mean, every now and then on YouTube, something makes the posts go viral, and it probably has to do with engagement within the very first seconds, that kind of stuff. And I don't like that kind of thing, because I believe in that people are ready for complicated stuff. People like to see complicated information, longer videos with a lot of information, if it's well done. So applying that kind of everything, every page that you do, people need to understand it within the first 1 or 2 seconds. That makes sense from a point of view where you are making an ad. But once you are creating content, that is a totally different situation. I don't think, I really believe it would be a terrible idea for them, but it wouldn't be the first one. This is just coming after the metaverse, after VR. After VR has been a bubble, now I cannot avoid AI. Can't avoid AI anywhere. I'm just, when I'm typing on Facebook, there's a big AI button right in front of my keyboard sometimes. So they are going from one decision against the will of the users to the next continuously, and in my opinion, it won't pay off. They should just try to make a good platform, try to get people closer together, try to make their platform useful for business, for people, and then people would appreciate it and would post more. That's it, at least that's my opinion, but I'm old school. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that. I'm just seeing so many features that make the experience worse for me. That make it worse for me, that decrease the likelihood that I would use something for my business. So yeah. I'm kind of sick of all of it. I might at some point, I don't know, go offline. I'm not sure how that, I never tried that, but I seriously, the longer I do it, the more problems you see. It's kind of hard to grow, to grow as a creator, and still play the same game, the game you always played. I'm not sure how the future will look like. Right now, I'm posting 2 or 3 videos on Instagram, and it automatically posts it to Facebook, to my Facebook page, and to Threads. And apart from that, I'm not really using it a lot for the business, for the cactusjerk kind of business. It's just, I'm used to that it doesn't really work the way it worked maybe a few years ago already. On Instagram, they just changed the algorithm, and now posts even go less viral. On the other hand, a bunch of the flower stuff has a little bit wider reach. They are constantly changing stuff, and I have given up to try to, when they say do this and you will succeed, do that and you will succeed. It's not like that anymore. It feels like people only succeed with stuff that is viral, the classic viral content. And on TikTok, I have the same experience. On TikToks, when I post on TikTok, they are showing my video to maybe 800 people, 800 views. I'm not doing a lot on TikTok right now. The profile is there, and I post every now and then, but I just find it that they are going the same route. They expect people to just pay them for reach, and I will never pay for reach. I'm not like that. I'm not doing it to have an audience. I already had an audience. No matter what they did, I'm not paying for reach. I believe good content should should succeed on its own. When you post something nice, and I mean, the flower videos that I'm posting and the time-lapse stuff and all, people love it. It's not that they don't like it. It's very often that they aren't shown this stuff. That instead they are shown the kind of influencer kind of stuff. A lot of reels, content that you wouldn't even look for. A lot of my timeline, and that I noticed that on Facebook, a lot of the timeline consists of stuff, of pages that I don't even follow. They're just picking random stuff, and very often it's AI, because I do a lot to block these people. I do a lot to block the pages that are just posting AI slop. So I basically engage with it. It takes me so much time to block the pages, but there are so many. And the next time they are just showing me another one. So it doesn't have anything to do with my actual interest. So yeah. I mean, social media. I believe at some point people will walk away from social media on a larger level. Doing it because we see how bad it is for society. That will happen at some point. Yeah, I mean, I'm not against scripted content. Everything, if they write that something is scripted, it's okay. I just feel like they are boosting this kind of content more. And instead, if they were to boost quality, actual good posts with a good meaning, positive meaning, then it wouldn't be so bad around social media. Then people wouldn't think that social media is so bad for society. It's always they make the rules. They decide what they want to show people. They decide if they want to use predatory practices, if they want to show content that basically destroys people's ability to concentrate, to focus. Social media could work very well with something positive in mind. You often see it when people come together to help others. It can be positive, you know. It wouldn't have to be. But if the same 10 companies just make all the rules, then of course that would mean that kind of influences the content. So yeah, I'm down to just posting a little bit on Facebook, Instagram, and most of the energy that I currently do goes into YouTube. You see it in the stream every day, in the videos. It's just, and it isn't that I don't believe that this kind of stuff doesn't have a future on other platforms. I really do believe that a lot of the things that I'm showing on my channel, they could be mainstream if they would actually give it space, if they would actually give it a platform and not promote all these dubious kind of people, dubious content creators that, for example, that walk around and try to start drama just to monetize it, that kind of stuff. So yeah. Okay, so I want to continue cleaning some seeds here. I brought some more, and it's really a lot. I need to get them cleaned up. So this is from a Reinhard Liske cross, 2222. I'm not sure what it is, what the parents are, but I remember the plant to look like a flying saucer Cantora hybrid. Really decent flowers. Every time I posted this one, people love it. So the flower is great. And there's also a lot of potential for the offspring. Just trying to get it all from the paper towel. And then I would start cleaning everything here. And I'm making actual progress with the seeds. It's really happening finally. I'm way too late. Normally they do the seed giveaway that I used to participate in every year for the AG Echinopsis in Germany. They have a some sort of seed giveaway, and it helps you as a breeder because you can just donate seeds of yours and other breeders will grow them. And they are pretty diligent when it's about bookkeeping, that kind of stuff. So it's a good thing for both the people who get free seeds, but also the breeders who know how their crosses will look like later on. But that stuff usually happens around the Christmas time. So you would have to donate the seeds already in November or October, maybe even. So I didn't do it this year. I'm just not, I can't guarantee that I'm done cleaning everything. At some point, you just get overwhelmed with all the fruit that you have there. So yeah, it's really good that I'm starting to make progress. Okay, and the seeds are pretty clean actually. There's a little bit of plant debris, crushed stuff here and there, but most of what I had on the paper towel was fresh seeds, just clean. And always a little bit careful because I sometimes discard the viable seeds too. They stick to everything and you don't see them very often. I don't need the gloves for this. Gloves they're a number too tight. Those were the only ones they had, and it's like a tiny hand size. I don't even have big hands, but this is just too small. Every time I wear the gloves, it feels like I'm getting like it induces a stroke from pressing too hard. Okay. Yeah, this is much better. I often touch the seeds to feel them if they are viable or not. So within the next days, I'm watching the movie Krampus again. I'm looking forward to that. It's something that I do every year on Christmas. I'm always watching the same movies at the same time every year. It's just a thing. And yeah, then I want to watch Krampus. And I want to watch that Chevy Chase movie again. I've already watched it recently, but I will watch it again. It's just such a nice Christmas movie. That National Lampoon's Christmas movie. That's probably the best thing that Chevy Chase ever did. Oh, yeah. I read about the Avatar movie, the new one. I mean, I'm a big fan of James Cameron. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I'm a fan of James Cameron actually, but I never really got into Avatar. I think I wasn't in the theater when the first one came out, and so much of the appeal of that movie came from seeing it in the theater, in the 3D effects and all. And since I didn't see that one, I never wanted to really get into it. When it runs on television, you never really see it the way it looked in the theater. So yeah, but I'm sure every movie that James Cameron makes is a great movie, at least in the way that it is done, technically flawless. The guy is a master, and the technology that he uses usually sets the standard in the industry. So yeah, and must be a great movie to watch with children too. So yeah, I just wish he would also do something else every now and then. He was such a great director. Everything that he touched, James Cameron reminds me a lot of the way Christopher Nolan is today. He is also able to take whatever subject that he wants to do and turn it into an actually good, or at least visually appealing movie. And yeah, in that way, Christopher Nolan reminds me a lot of James Cameron. I would love to see him do another movie for older people, like Aliens, that kind of stuff. I miss that kind of side of James Cameron. But I also understand that he wants to put all the energy into a franchise that he completely owns, where he can make all the rules, where he can create a world of its own. I haven't seen the second one either. Did you see the second one? Is the second one good? I haven't seen it. I've seen a little, every now and then I saw tiny parts of the first one, and it looked interesting. Not like a bad movie. It's just not, I'm not watching a lot of CGI movies today. Yeah, I heard that it's a good movie. People usually, when I heard the reviews and that kind of stuff, people usually said all the Avatar movies are decent movies, are good movies, fun movies. So yeah, great that you enjoyed it. Great to hear. I started a movie yesterday called Heretic, horror movie, I think, or at least something like that. I haven't watched it fully. It has Hugh Grant in it, and Hugh Grant looked really interesting as a role. I'm sure that movie will be good, but I had to turn it off again because Hugh Grant really had something about him that was uncomfortable to me, that I had to turn off the movie again. But I read a bunch of reviews about it, or at least a little bit here and a little bit there, where people were talking about it. So I want to finish that one today. Yeah, Dave, it's a universal theme with the greed of the companies. I mean, it has become so obvious that you only have to look at real life to know how important that message is. Okay, so this is Reinhard Liske Hybrid 2222. One. First seedling. Seed harvested on August 30th. Okay. I wrote down the parents so I will be able to tell who the father was of this cross. Okay, next one. So over here I have a pretty big one. Lots of seeds. And this was from a Telegonoides hybrid. Telegonoides hybrid Charm. And it's very, very common. It happens very often that the fruit is huge. It's very fertile, sometimes even borderline self-fertile. I treat those as potentially self-fertile. It isn't something that happens all the time, but very often. I feel like when you have a plant that reliably every year grows fruit, and it's always the big fruit, not different sizes, different amounts of seeds. If a plant has a fruit reliably every year and the fruit is full, then I would at least consider that it could be self-fertile. It doesn't happen with a lot of species, but some of them it happens. Yeah, I think Sigourney Weaver, she probably knows James Cameron from when they did Aliens. And she's a good actress. I like her. I'm not sure, she's probably almost retired by now. Or maybe just retiring and unretiring for something like this. It's crazy how old all these actors have become. The actors from the movies when I grew up. Like with Bruce Willis and Arnold Schwarzenegger. I felt like last time I looked at Arnold, I was really worried about him. You can really see how much he aged. And I think Bruce Willis, we will lose him very soon. Okay. I'm almost done here. Almost have all the seeds removed from the paper towel. I would guess it's at least 600-700 seeds, maybe more. I could count them, but I mean, maybe we're doing that in a Christmas special, but not now, but not right now. Okay. If all the cactus reeds would be as big as this one, then it wouldn't be such a difficult business. But this is really the exception. Finding cactus fruits of this size, not really happening so often. And if you look at the number of seeds that are in there, might also make sense to eat fruit, to eat the cactus fruit. Some of the cactus fruits are actually edible, and might make sense with something like this, where the fruit is huge. Yeah, that's the one. He like the movie is called National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and it's just a classic Christmas movie. It ran every year when I was a kid, and actually it still does. I don't think I've didn't watch it in 1 year. Every time that movie is on, I put it on. And it's really the best movie, in my opinion. It's the best movie that Chevy Chase ever did. I'm not really a fan, you know. I mean, I know all the stories about him. Guy must be hilariously difficult at work, like really difficult actor to work with. So I'm looking at it with mixed feelings. On one hand, I love the movie. I also love the other National Lampoon's vacation movies. They're also fun. But Chevy Chase, I recently watched that roast, the roast of Chevy Chase, and he was sitting there and people were roasting him. And very often when I watch that, when I watch these kinds of comedy roasts, they are done with love a little bit, you know, with friendship, with positive feelings. And when I watched that, the people that roasted Chevy Chase, they weren't even friends, because they couldn't get any to be there to participate, because apparently he has burned so many bridges in his life. Uncle Buck, that's the John Candy, I think. I don't think he's in that one. but I'm not sure. But yeah, and the guy was, it was really painful to watch. You could really see that Chevy Chase was sitting there really a little bit horrified. At least that's how it looked. It didn't look like the guy was really having a good time. And yeah, I mean, that, I guess that happens when you live your life in a way. I don't understand it. I don't get it. These guys are so privileged. They have such an amazing way to do something, to be known for something that they create, for something that brings people joy, and then they are like, just, I don't want to say bad people, but all that arguing, some people just attract drama. They attract, they constantly feel like someone is mistreating them. That's how at least that's how I see it, how I feel Chevy Chase might have been to work with. So yeah, but apart from that, the movie will always remain an important piece of my childhood. I have no problem to separate the art from the artist. I can do it. I mean, and there are some cases when it's important to make a stand, to say I don't want to have anything to do with that. But apart from that, I can watch the movie even if Chevy Chase is some sort of a difficult person. Doesn't really change it for me. I don't think I've seen that one already. I'm not sure, like Trains, Planes, and that movie. I'm not sure if I've seen it. Is that the one where they are just traveling around and they're sleeping in one bed and something like that? I think I remember something like that, but it must have been many years ago when I watched that movie in my childhood, probably when it ran on television, something like that. But yeah, what else? I might have to watch. I don't know. I don't want to watch the Kevin movies. I feel like I've outgrown them a little bit. But I might watch the one with Bruce Willis, which is obviously a Christmas movie, in my opinion. I mean, Macaulay Culkin recently said that it wouldn't be a Christmas movie. But it isn't Christmas until I see Hans Gruber on the Nakatomi Plaza. It's just part of Christmas for me. So yeah, let me see. Charm. Okay. Check this out. A lot of seeds from just one fruit. So this was a very viable kind of plant. And in my opinion, I would bet if I'm sowing these out, I would have a lot of them that look like the mother. Very dominant, then probably two. Okay. So I got another book order, and I wanted to say thank you guys. Always happy when I can ship out the books because they are very well done. I like them a lot. I'm happy to ship them out. It's the type of stuff when you love the product that you made, then it's really fun to ship them. So yeah. And I will pack it in the next days, maybe over Christmas. DHL doesn't really do a lot here, and they were already here yesterday. So they will probably not come again until after Christmas. But that gives me time to do that, to pack that thing. Okay. So this one here, not many seeds, and it came from Flying Dragon Cantora. Flying Dragon Cantora. And very often with that hybrid, the fruit often doesn't have a lot of seeds. It shows you a little bit, in my opinion, it shows you that Flying Dragon Cantora is genetically a little bit distant. Both of the parents are a little bit distant. The parents of Flying Dragon are not known, but I have my suspicions regarding it. And when I look at the fact that always when I see the seeds, when I see the fruit from and count the seeds that are in the fruit, very often there are barely any seeds in it. And it tells me that genetically something is probably a little bit more distant than some of the other Cantora crosses. Some of those Cantora hybrids are very fertile with big fruits. Even stuff like Pink Stripes can have huge fruits. But in this case, doesn't seem likely that they are close, that Flying Dragon is basically just a Cantora hybrid. In my opinion, it has something to do with Sorensia carmagensis. It's just so slender, it's so thin, it grows so fast. The spine count is higher than classic Cantora. Okay. Yeah, maybe 60 seeds, I assume. Not many. 60 seeds, that's my guesstimate of the what we have there. Let me see. Yeah, maybe a little bit more, maybe 80, but that's it. I spend a lot of time packing seeds, and at some point you just get a good feeling for how many you have in front of you. I originally started counting the cactus seeds every time, and then later, once you get bigger orders that have maybe 1,000 seeds, then you can start measuring and weighing it, and it kind of helps you to. It saves you a lot of time. But it never goes away. I still have, when I look at a seed bag, I always automatically try to think about how many seeds it would be. Okay, Flying Dragon Cantora Gelb. I have at least 4 plants from that cross, and every one of them had flowered this year. So there were a lot of fruits from that kind of cross, and all of them consistently didn't have a lot of seeds. I brought a bunch of seedlings here where I thought about transplanting them. Oh, this is from Angelo. This is a good cross. Nice. We'll see what I will do with them. I have too many seedlings. I would love to single them out. So now I moved that cactus pot, and I just got a cactus spine, a long spine that fell out of it. Let me see if I can pick it up to show you. See it? These are the kind of spines that you are working with. You just get used to poking yourself every now and then by accident. It just happens. Everything that I touch has spines falling out of it. So what happens when I find a spine, I usually break the tip, that it doesn't that it isn't so dangerous anymore in case I accidentally touch it in the wrong angle. Okay, next one. Oh, this is nice. Echinopsis glauca. Yeah, definitely. I mean, some of the cacti that have toothpick in their name, in their common names, and it gets obvious why. So yeah, Echinopsis glauca, and look at how few seeds there are. This is maybe 40 seeds. And this was a fruit with Echinopsis riomiscensis. Good father. Interesting big flower. And honestly, I just wanted to get a fruit from this plant, from the Echinopsis glauca. I didn't really care what the father would be. Just that I get seeds from it, because it's such a cool plant. And I want to propagate it. I want to get some, I want to try to get in the flower color. Maybe a better flower color, maybe a bigger flower size, stuff like that. And the species has so much potential because it has barely been used for breeding. The reason that it's been so rarely used is that people just don't identify it as what it is. It's a rare species, and very often when you, and it's not that the species, you don't find it, but when you find it, it has a different name. It's just named, I don't know, it has a name like Peruvianus, that kind of stuff. All of the plants of the Echinopsis glauca that I got on the market have been mislabeled when I got them. They had a different name. Very often you can get amazing finds, amazingly rare species, if you know how to spot them, if you know how to identify them. So it can make a lot of sense to just keep an eye out on stuff like eBay, Craigslist, that kind of stuff. Okay. There's also a lot of trash in there that needs to be removed from the seeds. Really not a lot of seeds in here. Think with how much of this is actually not seeds. I don't think we will get 30 seeds. And I also have another fruit of Echinopsis glauca, and that one was pollinated with bamboy, and also very not commercial amounts of seeds. So I'm now just trying to get any kind of cross here. Next season we will cross it again, but this time with different parents, different fathers. I want to experiment. Maybe we find something where we get more seeds from a cross. But it could also be that this is just how fertile and or not fertile the species is. We'll see. Okay. I'm almost done. I just try to not sort out any kind of viable seed here. I'm a little bit more careful because everything looks the same here. Everything is black. And if you only have 30 seeds, a few seeds here and there that you accidentally sorted out hurt more. Okay. I really don't like it. I would have loved to have more seeds of this cross. But on the other hand, I'm already glad that it even worked. I had years when that plant was full of flowers and not one of them grew fruit. That has happened too, so I don't want to be unthankful here. There's a lot of trash in this fruit, in this bunch of seeds. Not well cleaned. One thing that stands out is that the seeds are a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger than a lot of the other Sörensia kind of species. So genetically, this looks a little bit like it's really going towards the columnar cacti direction genetically. The size of the seeds is very similar to Peruvian species and Bolivian in regards to just the seed size. And that can sometimes tell you a little bit about it. It's not reliable, but that way you can say that this is definitely related, but it can give you a rough direction to then look closer and compare some of the other traits, the flowers, the time when they are flowering, from where they are flowering, like the parts of the plant. Okay. I'm almost through now. There was just too much stuff that looks exactly like seeds, but isn't seeds. And we will be sowing them out in the next time. Next time I'm sowing out, I will be sowing these out. Okay. I really hope this cross has a decent viability. With Echinopsis glauca, I don't have a lot of seedlings yet from it. I made crosses with it a few times. Maybe overall, I think I might have had 4 fruits on the plant. 4 or 5. Once I made a cross with it and Papagena, Echinopsis hybrid Papagena. Very beautiful yellow flowering Echinopsis. And on that one I had a fruit too. So we'll see how they will look like. Echinopsis glauca crossed with Rio miscensis. And in this case, it's really Rio miscensis. It's not the PC cultivar that is common. This is from Ben Cam. Okay. Yeah, nice. Doing one last round of seeds. And then I'm taking Kami for a walk. Kami always waits when the morning temperature, when it gets a little bit warmer in the morning, and then I usually take her out into the garden so she can have a little bit of fun. And that's what will do after the video. Trying to spend a little bit of family time, you know, the classic Christmas home stay at home time. It was a rough year this year. I'm still exhausted. I still have these moments where I'm completely tired and just, I don't know. It was so exhausting this year, especially the last 3 months, that I'm looking forward just doing nothing for a few days. And that never happens. I never really do nothing. But just where I have a little bit of time where I do less, that's already good enough. Okay. We will get back to the seedlings tomorrow. I just didn't want it to become too boring. I didn't want to do the same stuff every time. And in the future, I might even switch up some more. Every now and then, just do a stream where I'm just discussing other stuff. So this is from a cross between, I can't read it, let me see. Grüner Orange, Flying Saucer, and Marcola. Good hybrid, big flowers, good color in the flowers, and this was one of the plants from 2013, I think, that I have. Overall, maybe 300 seeds. This is a fair amount. The Grüner hybrids very often have a smaller flower too, a smaller fruit too, with less seeds. Fewer seeds. Okay. Apart from that, it's okay. A little bit of pulp that has dried up that I now can sift out. Apart from that, the seeds look clean. Still sorted out a bunch of viable seeds here. It happens so fast, so I'm glad that I always have something below. Otherwise, you would just lose maybe 1/5 of the seeds during cleaning up. It can happen easily. Okay. I'm constantly sorting stuff out and putting it back. I'm making absolutely no progress. It's just sometimes it's very hard to just distinguish the viable seeds from the unviable ones just by, you need to touch them. If you don't touch them, if you just look at them, very often you don't, you are sorting out the ones that are actually roundish but just smaller. You really need to touch the seed to feel if there's life in it. Here's one that's viable. And I mean, it doesn't tell you that it's viable. It at least increases the chance that it's viable. If a seed is just a flat little thing, it's very likely not fully developed. Okay. By the way, I want to announce that I'm working on a book again. I will not really talk a lot about it yet, but I'm working on something again, and that is a huge thing. Because I didn't think it would happen again that I would be working on a book, on a print book. But I really changed my mind a little bit. So in the next months, I will also be writing again. We'll see how it goes. I've just realized that I'm missing the writing. In the last couple of weeks or 3 weeks, I've put so much energy into posts that where I would usually, when I would be writing for a book, I now spend the time where I'm just putting a lot of effort into having a nice post that is really thought through, with a lot of intent, with a lot of, I don't know, I'm just doing my best to put together nice posts here and there. And I feel like social media is not showing them. It is, you put so much effort into something, and when then a post is shown to maybe 10 people, and it's always the 10 people that support you, that always like you, but it's not really, all that effort isn't really rewarded, then I start losing interest to do it. So I might actually put all that energy into a platform that is rewarding eventually again. So yeah, that is why I'm writing again. I really have a big problem with the way how the posts are shown on social media today, and I just can't take it anymore. I have spent so much time in this hamster wheel, in this continuous wheel where you just try to, if you do the right thing, the algorithm will reward you. Whatever you do, it will be shown to you, whatever. It will go viral. And very often they have just stacked the rules against you. It will not happen. Very often they just want you to pay them for that reach. And I'm not seeing a lot of, I don't know, I'm posting for 10, 15 people, and when I'm posting, I'm doing it also because I know, because it matters to me that these people see it, because I respect them and I enjoy to just have a conversation with them. But apart from that, putting a lot of effort into posts on social media isn't the thing that I will be doing anymore. I will be putting a lot of effort into my videos. I will be putting a lot of effort into what I'm doing here, the stream, maybe into a book again, whatever. But I decided I will no longer run around in that hamster wheel that they built, like that social media hamster wheel, just to be noticed. If they don't want to reward good content, then it's on them. That is the way I see it. And I will take that mindset with me for the future. That is my big takeaway in the recent year, that I'm done trying to please algorithms, trying to please a platform. I will do my stuff regardless. If they don't want to show it, if they don't want to show this kind of stuff, then that's then they will just continue to have decreasing quality on the platform. I'm cleaning cactus seeds here. I'm just cleaning the seeds that we harvested in autumn. I've been basically pollinating in summer, pollinating the cactus flowers, and now I'm sitting on a lot of seeds, way more seeds than you can clean in a normal amount of time. So I'm constantly doing it on the stream, and slowly we're making a little bit of progress, but it was so much work because there were so many fruits this year. I can only tell you this. I had just started growing cacti because where I lived, all the other plants wouldn't make it anymore. Cacti are surprisingly hardy. If you can just guarantee a few things here and there, like I have a greenhouse, an actual greenhouse, and that makes such a big difference. If you can guarantee something like that, cactus breeding is super easy. It's really a rewarding and easy hobby, but it's hard to do it just like a house plant. If you want to grow a cactus on the window, it will probably not flower, and it's also hard because in winter the cacti usually they are hibernating. They don't get a lot of heat. They don't get a lot of water. They are basically relatively dry during winter. And if you can't guarantee that indoors, then it will be difficult to grow them. Yeah, I think the biggest problem is the high temperatures indoors, because the moment you have a cactus in a heated house in winter, you will need to start watering it. You will need to start fertilizing it. You need to give it, it needs to experience some sort of rain, like spraying it, because otherwise pests have it easy with them. So yeah, that is kind of why cacti can't really be grown like the houseplants, like a lot of the classic houseplants. But I really recommend a little greenhouse or something like a garden bed kind of thing where you can cover them in spring can already be enough. I have friends that overwinter their cacti in the cellar at maybe 10 degrees Celsius, a little bit over the winter temperature, over freezing. And in spring, they bring them out again in these mini greenhouses, and that works. They are flowering. They look great. It can work. It's just a little bit more additional work. Now I completely emptied the seeds here. I completely emptied the seeds of the bag of seeds here. That happens when you are handicapped. Oh man. Okay, but I got them again. I was able to get them on the piece of paper here. I'm always happy to help. If you are not sure how to grow a plant, just write it in the comments. I'm always happy to help. I'm doing the streams. I try to do them daily, but I might miss a few here and there, but usually around the same time. So if you have a question, I'm always happy to help. Just write it in the chat or in the comments and I'll assist. I'm always happy when people try a new hobby or try something that didn't work for them. So I'm always there to help. Okay, guys, I gotta exit the stream because the smartphone is starting to turn off because the battery is empty. So yeah, I greatly appreciated today's stream, and I'll be back tomorrow, and I will stream a lot over Christmas. My wife moved out, so I apparently have nothing else to do. So if you want to join me, I'm there in the streams. And if not, I wish you a great time over Christmas. Have fun with your families and recover a little bit from that kind of stressful landscape out there. Okay, guys, thank you for being here. I will be back tomorrow. Thank you.